first, I wanted to get your reaction to the Morning Joe anchors revealing this morning that they just visited President-elect Trump at Mar-A-Lago. Take a quick listen.
Joe and I went to Mar-A-Lago to meet personally with President-elect Trump. It was the first time we have seen him in 7 years.
Abortion, mass deportation, threats of political retribution against political opponents and media outlets. We talked about that a good bit.
Joe and I realize it's time to do something different. And that starts with not only talking about Donald Trump, but also talking with him.
Yeah, so Steve, I believe their visit was on Friday, but they just addressed it with their viewers this morning. What do you make of their visit and why they're deciding to bridge the gap now?
Oh my gosh.
A loaded question, Steve.
An amazing turn of events that literally anyone who has tracked the career of these two could have seen coming. They're frauds, but honestly, it's not even just that. That last part of the shot that you played there, that soundbite about the idea that we're going to do things differently. Okay, I'm on board with that. I think that there should be a little bit of introspection and humility that comes with getting an election and sort of the mood of the country completely wrong. So instead of talking about Donald Trump, we're going to talk with Donald Trump. Well, that is literally the thought process of no one in America, except for people that spend their time in green rooms in D.C. and New York, or spend their time staring at a TV camera, okay, we got this election completely wrong. What should we do differently? Let's talk to Donald Trump. It's totally insane. How about talking about Donald Trump and his supporters in a way that doesn't alienate more than half the country, or maybe talking to some Donald Trump supporters? No, we got to go to Mar-a-Lago and actually literally talk to Donald Trump. It is so out of touch, so absurd, and I think it's a sign of where things are going to go in that morning show for the next few years.
And I was going to ask you, the next 4 years, what do you expect from that show and other shows that are echo chambers? Because those shows are now speaking to the minority, right, after this election. I mean, what are you expecting from the next 4 years?
I think it's easy to draw the corollary with 2017. What happened in 2016? Everyone, in the corporate media space was shocked by the election results. And there was this brief moment of introspection there, about 3 months, where there was this shift in coverage. I always remember Selena Zito, who's a great reporter, got hired by CNN. And I actually write about it in my book. Selena addressed the entire newsroom and about what you missed about the election. And then it all went away. I would imagine maybe instead of 3 months, we'll maybe go 6 months. I would say by the summer, we're right back where we were. These people are obsessed, in a way, addicted to Donald Trump in this sort of sadomasochistic way, love and hate, and pleasure and pain. It's not going to change. I really don't think so. I hope it does. I hope I'm wrong. But I think that the idea that all of a sudden we're going to get places like MSNBC or even CBS News, look, we saw what they did to themselves this election cycle, that start to go the way of, say, NewsNation, which actually cares about, talking to the majority of the country, not just left or right, but just people that want just the news and information. I do not see that happening, which is good news here.
Yeah, and when you change the tone in this way, or maybe the substance, saying, hey, we reached out, we actually went to visit, what do you expect that to do to their ratings? Because so many people do tune in because, they want to hear what they want to hear. Now that they're getting this, what do you think MSNBC viewers are thinking?
Yeah, right. The Trump supporters, or even the people who are loosely associated with favorable towards Donald Trump, are not going to be moved and all of a sudden start tuning into Morning Joe. I assure you of that. At the same time, it is totally going to be alienating of their core #resistance base that's already watching. The number that's already dwindling every single day, eroding with just the general ways that linear television has eroded. So no, I think it's not going to be working in a positive direction. Now, I will say I will come back on here in 3-4 months from now and say, oh wow, Mika and Joe really seem like they've got their finger on the pulse of the country now. I don't see that happening. I think that this is a sort of alienating action by people that are so out of touch, not even just with the right, but even with their own audience, who does not want this. They don't want to see them hanging out at Mar-a-Lago. There's a way of going about this without literally sitting down with Trump.
Yeah, well, and it's just interesting, too, because there won't be another term for him, so
right.
So you're not keeping him from another term after this. I'm going to save this clip, Steve, and check back in with you in 6 months and see where things stand.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.